All right, so I'm going to be taking you through the Springfield 2012 second generation Velocity this morning. In Springfield, we have 3 of these units, engine 5, engine 4, and engine 16. They're all set up basically the same. I'm going to start here with the engineer side of the engine, and what's different with this one compared to the Battalion 1 and 2 Velocities is that we have a turnout compartment on the side here in front, which they don't have, and it's really nice because we can put our engineer turnouts in here. We've got our vests and stuff that we can keep in here, and it's real handy. We don't have to keep it back in the open space where it can fly around if we have an accident. Next, I'll be moving back here to the pump panel and talking about that a little bit. Okay, this is the pump panel on the Velocity, and this is a 1,500 gallon pump, and it is a single stage, so there's no transfer valve. We also have foam on this rig, but we do not carry a Class B tank. We only have a Class A tank. It's 30 gallons, and we have Class B foam in the back. We have 2 1 3/4 pre-connects on here. One comes off of each side. They're each 200 feet long, and we also have the pre-plumbed deck gun up on top that we can pump straight from the panel. I'm going to show you the engineer's compartment. These are all set up basically the same on most units. We have all of our large soft section hoses, some equipment, appliances, stuff like that. Also located here in the engineer's compartment is your main breaker panel for the engine, located right here. And now we're going to move to the next compartment. Okay, along the side of the engine here we have air bottle compartment. We have 2 of these, 1 on each side of the engine, and they each have 2 spare bottles in them. Above that we have our tool compartment, which has a tool rack on it. We can open this up. Always make sure that the door is all the way up before you open this, or else you can scratch the paint. We've got our Class B foam in there, as I mentioned earlier. We've got 10 gallons there. We've got some additional absorbent, and we've got our wildland gear, along with additional tools on the inside of the rack. And then also on the side of the engine, we have the fuel fill here. We do not have the DEF on this rig. It's just straight diesel. All right, next we're going to move to this rear compartment here. In this compartment, we have our bucket of absorbent. We have some hand tools. We have our Lazy Susan for loading the 5-inch. We have our gas fan and chainsaw. We also have our fire extinguishers and additional fuel and equipment for the chainsaw. Also in this compartment, behind the absorbent, we have some folding traffic cones. They fold up so they store easily. To use them, you just pull them up like that. Collapse them, just reverse it. Just like that. All right, moving to the rear of the engine now. If you look up at the hose bed here, you can see that we've got up on the very top, we've got a high-rise pack that is in the small compartment up here all by itself. And then we have, what's different with this engine from the Eugene engines is that we only have 800 feet of the 5-inch and 800 feet of the 2.5 supply lines. And then we also have a 200-foot pre-connected 2.5-inch on the side there. In the rear compartment here, you can see that we've got the hose reel. One thing that I didn't mention earlier is that this does have a 10 kW generator on it. It's a PTO driven. So we've got an electrical cord reel here. We've also got the hydrant bag. We've got a big water manifold in the back there, plus our appliances for using the quick attack monitor, and also the monitor base for the deck gun that's up on top. You can remove it and put it on a ground monitor. All right, so moving around to the officer side of the engine, the rear compartment here. This is our medical compartment. They're all set up basically the same. We do have a refreshment cooler in the back of our rig. It has water in it, cold water, and we've got all of our medical equipment. We also have our water rescue bag in the back compartment here. It has PFDs in it and throw bags. Okay, moving to the fold-up compartment on the officer's side. We have some additional equipment in here. We have our salvage covers. We got some plastic for patching roofs. We got our ladder belt and some additional lighting along with our toolbox. This is our high-rise pack. And then we've got a Sawzall and lockout kit for getting into motor vehicles. And then we've got our hydraulic reservoir here for the equipment rack, the ladder rack. And then as I mentioned on the other side, we've got another compartment here for spare air bottles, 2 in each compartment. All right, and this compartment here is our RIT compartment. It has our RIT equipment in it. It is not marked at this time. They're supposed to be getting markings on them real soon. It's got a RIT bag, our RIT irons, a flashlight, some additional hose for soft section on this side, and then we've got our large area search rope in there. Okay, so here we have the back side of our pump panel, and we've got our hose reel, booster reel on this side. There's only one on each of these units. And then we've got our intakes. You can see that the other 200-foot pre-connect comes off of this side, and we also have our ladder rack controls. Okay, what's different with our ladder racks compared to the Battalion 1 and 2s is that our locks do not automatically release when you turn the switch on. So we have to go through and release the locks on both ends, and then come back to the panel, turn it on, and lower the ladder. So the ladders on engine 5, 4, and 16 are set up a little bit differently. We do not have a little giant ladder, but we also have the extension ladder is on the outside so that you can access it without taking the roofer off. The roofer is on the inside, and then we have an attic ladder on the bottom, along with a couple of pike poles. But the biggest difference is that we do not have a little giant, and the 24-foot extension is on the outside. Okay, the last compartment on the officer's side is their turnout compartment. You can see the captain has his turnouts in here today, and that's basically what this compartment is used for. Up on the top shelf, you can actually access the gas meter up there as well from the inside of the cab. So the difference in the rear of the cab is that because we have the turnout compartments on the inside of the cab, there's no rear-facing seats. There's just the 2 forward-facing seats in the back, and they also have air packs in the seats. So as you can see up here in the crow's nest, we've got some additional Class A foam in case we get low in our tank. We also have a scoop shovel, and we have a backboard. One of the unique things about the Battalion 3 Velocities is that we have a hard cover over the hose bed, which is really nice because you can walk on it. And then when you get ready to load hose, you can open it up. So then you're able to step down into the hose bed. You can see that there's lighting along the side here. It's that way on both sides. Opens up so you have full access to all the hose beds.